Yo, what's good, Desi Hip Hop fam? You are tuned in to the Unfiltered Podcast. I am your host, DJ Raf, and today we have an amazing plan for the show just for you. Today, we're focusing on a few global DJs, few global Desi DJs, and all of these DJs have been on the grind for a hell of a long time. Okay, they perfected their craft for all of these years, and now they're really riding that wave to the top. I really respect all of them, and that's why today we'll get to know them a little bit better. Without further ado, I don't want to talk too much. I want to introduce our first guest for the show today. And he is a DJ and also an event planner and also an entrepreneur from Toronto, Canada. And I'd just like to present to you Sats B. Yes.
Yo! What
Satish.
up?
Satish, good to see you, bro. I'm glad you
Likewise,
could
homie.
make it. How are things for you going?
Hey man, we're making do with the new set of rules. You know, everybody's
Hell yeah.
adapting. Everybody's is straight hustler mindset now. You either adapt
yeah.
and figure out what to do, or you sit. And so I love what's going on. So I'm
Hell
happy
yeah.
to be here.
Awesome. Well, before I introduce the next guest, I also want to bring attention to applause over here. If you guys are live streaming or, doing anything live online and you haven't been able to monetize yet, this is where you need to go. And guess what? This is the guy who's behind that project. So more info on that soon. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our next guest. He's all the way from India. This guy has been DJing and performing all over the world. You've seen him perform with Gully Gang and numerous other artists all over India as well as in the US. I'd like to present Spindoctor.
Yo, 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 yo! What's up?
Yo, I love that energy, man. I love that energy. Oh, man. Is
Yeah,
it
man.
raining in Mumbai? I heard it is.
It's flooded like everywhere, bro. I had a hard time to come home on time for this
Oh,
one.
shit. Man, I'm glad you
Yeah.
made it.
I finally made it.
Hell
I
yeah.
almost killed like 3 people on the way, but yeah, it's cool. We have a lot of people here.
That's awesome. Okay, so the next guest I want to bring on is all the way from New York, the home of hip hop. This guy has been DJing for like a shit ton of years, man. Like I can't even count, but he's a pro. He's a legend. You know what? He's been DJing on Apple Music next to Ebro. He's been DJing for Desi events. He's been DJing for all over the US, man. This guy is a hustler. He's a grinder. I'd like to present DJ Sharad to the Unfiltered Podcast.
Yo, what up, rap?
What's good?
Spindoctor, how you feeling?
Hell yeah, man. How's New York been treating you, man?
Couldn't be better, man.
That's awesome.
Rise and grind. We had a little tornado yesterday, but other than that, we're okay, man. A little
Good.
trees down, but we just going through the COVID, so a few
Yeah, yeah.
trees down is nothing. Little power outage here and there, it's all good.
Right. That's awesome. Well, the next guest you know very well. He is DJ Sharad's business partner as well as, a friend from a hell of a long time. They work in the same company that they founded, DJ USA. Please welcome DJ Juicy to the Unfiltered Podcast.
What up? What up? What up? What's
Yo!
going on? That's
Yeah.
Spindoctor, Sharad Rap. What's good, guys?
Yeah, man. Things are really good. I'm really glad to have you all here, man. Like, this is really cool. Just to have so many different talents from different parts of the world in one place. I'm here in Minneapolis. Sats B is in Toronto. DJ Sharad and Juicy are in New York. Spindoctor in Mumbai, India, man. Let's start by seeing like how you guys have been doing during this quarantine, man. Spindoctor, bro, what have you been up to during this whole quarantine?
Well, I'm back to my medical thing, helping people, working as a doctor 24/7, and getting some time to make some music, flexing my Rakhi.
Nice.
Whoa!
Blah, 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 blah.
Yo, everybody's got that. I don't have it. I have a hairband. That's not the same thing.
I got my
Damn.
Apple Watch. That's it.
That's nice, man. So real quick, Spin Doc, you are an actual doctor, and that's the influence behind your name, right?
Yeah.
So during COVID, I saw like so many, social media pictures and stuff where you're actually working, in the front line, helping people out. How has that been going for you?
Now we are doing really good, bro. Like initially it was in slums, and we were very scared because the healthcare structure is not that great as like first world country in India, and we were trying our best, and now it's almost gone from the slums. So we are happy that there's no, like, we are, even if having a bad healthcare structure, we try to save like so many people, and it feels good. Like we are doing pretty good right now. We're kind of opening up, but not the party thing, but yeah, like kind of coming back with the new norms, of course. But yeah.
Nice. That's refreshing to hear, because in America things are going south. So, DJ Juicy, bro, how have you been during this whole past 4 months of quarantine?
I've been good, man. Just taking a lot of time to kind of figure out different business strategies and pivot, which is super important in this climate. And then also spending a lot of time with the family. I recently had a daughter, a baby, so that's been a big blessing for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So just been focusing on family and work, man. That's all we know.
Hell yeah. And your partner in crime, DJ Sharad. I know you've been working a lot. Like I've seen you do the, so many live DJ streams as on Apple Music, on Pop Shift, on numerous other places. You guys recently did that like theater, a drive-in theater thing to represent the community. How have you been doing this whole past 4 months?
Just maintaining, not complaining. I feel, if we put our heads down and work and ideate and create, it's a blessing, to be able to sort of have downtime and be healthy and be able to keep creating,
right.
Just shifting our business and our mindset, with the times and really just building something new. So
right. Yeah, that's
moving and shaking out here.
Yeah. That's always important. Yeah, we got to be on our toes right now. Make sure we can do everything we possibly can. Moving on to Sats B, bro. You have been hustling, grinding. Like since this quarantine started, I've seen you test out every single avenue for live stream, every single opportunity to go live and connect with the community, which is very important. Right now relationships are the most important things. But how has your quarantine been so far?
It's good, man. It's good. I mean, for me, I tend to take on a lot of things out of passion and don't know how to let things go. And then COVID brought a whole new level of like clarity that was forced, which I totally appreciate. I've got new habits that I've developed. I've got new projects that we're doing from a different perspective. So it's been really good to sort of get that noise out, because as hustlers, we tend to create that noise sometimes, and then we don't know when it's good and when it's not good. And so that has been really good. I'm still happily married. My wife is still cool with me being around her this often. We haven't hung out this much since the honeymoon days. So I'm like, whoa. And I've got a whole new relationship with my kids now. It's a blessing, man. So, there's so much things that are not good about what's happening globally, but I think we found a way to find some positivity in all of this chaos.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. Really happy to hear that, and I hear from all of you guys that that family unit has been getting stronger during this period. And I think that's going to last, that's going to impact the rest of our lives in one way or the other. So that's awesome. Quick shout out to all the viewers. Slick Two Shades, thank you for being here. He was one of our guests in a previous episode from Jersey. Also shout out to Sandeep Singh and all of the viewers on YouTube and Facebook. By the way, we're live on Facebook and YouTube, but we also stream post live. We also are available everywhere where podcasts are available. So Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, etc. I'll stop with the plugs now, and we'll start with the first segment of the show. It's called Scavenger Hunt. All right, scavenger hunt. So this is a game where we ask you to go ahead and share something in your room or in your house, which has a story. You know, we want you to share a story with us. So who's got something to share with the audience already?
I go.
Sharad.
Sharad.
All right, let's go. Let's see what Sharad's got. Oh, nice. That's like an old school. What do you call those things? Time. Sorry.
Well, the hourglass.
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 Yeah.
Right.
Very, very, very important in real life.
Right.
Sometimes we forget how valuable our time is. So, true story, as Sat said, you know, we got this thing during COVID, this blessing about understanding how valuable our time is. And sometimes when you're running and gunning and when you're like at this fast pace, when you hustle and when you're moving and shaking, you know, you just lose track of time. But if you focus and realize that your time has so much value and you got to utilize it wisely, you know, you take it more seriously and you respect your time more and you respect other people's time more and you value your time, which sometimes we forget about. Like we hop here, hop there, do this, have a meeting, have a phone call. Now it's like if it doesn't fit in my hourglass, like I can't really fuck with it. I can't mess with it if it doesn't fit in my timeline. This is my time. It's very precious. And this is literally 60 minutes right here. So, yo, Raf, if we're not done in 60 minutes, there's a problem. You know what I mean? Next thing. But this was gifted to me when we opened up our office. You know, we've been shut down. Our business, you know, we run a multifaceted business. We run an events agency. We're in a production house. And when we reopened up, this was gifted to me from one of my key people that works with us. His name is Karan. He's actually a DJ. He runs our production. And he put this on my desk. He said, I found it. I said, yo, this is life right now. We got to value this every day. So very important, you know. DJ Sharad OG, I like to teach a little bit while we move and shake. So
Hey.
That's important. That's important. I love that. You know, right now you're so right. You know, right now time is all we have, literally. Like we better take advantage of it.
But look, we could pause time, or we could keep it running.
There you go.
We want to pause. We want to keep it going. For me, this shit is vertical every day.
Hell yeah. Nice. I feel like by you moving that up and down a little bit, we gained some more time for this show. So.
Just a few grains.
All right. Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing. So who's next? Who's got something else to share with us? Spindoctor. Oh, he's got the.
So this temperature gun. This is a temperature gun I've been using since April 22 when I started working as a doctor. Like, you know, I went back to the field and I have scanned like I think more than 1 lakh people with this gun. Wow. And I actually found so many positive people. I saw so many deaths, but I saved so many lives. So yeah, like this has been a savior.
Nice.
It's good.
That's awesome. Well, you know, in your time in the field, was there anything like a story that, you know, stood out for you? Was, you know, is there something you could share with us?
I would like to, so basically, when you go to a slum, like, you know, India, the hood is a slum, like, you know,
right.
We call it slum here. I don't know what you guys call it there. Like,
you call it the hood.
You call it the hood, yeah.
Hood, like, so we call it the slum. So here, like, if you go to the slum, like, you know, it's like, you see the amount of people who are like volunteering about like things, you know, if somebody is like quarantined at home and they can't cook food. So people like community build, there is a community who's there and who cooks food and, you know, provides everybody. And it's a lot of positivity. Like when you go there, like you see on the news that, you know, people are dying and this and that. But when you go actually to the field, you get inspired by smallest thing. Like, you know, there are so many people who are working day in, day out without any money just to help humanity. And that really touches me because that is never there on media. Like, you know, the real humanity, the real India or whatever, the real people who OGs, like, you know, who doesn't care about anything, who doesn't care about publicity. They just want to help. They don't want anything in return. They just want to give. So I met so many givers like that. And then I feel so proud working with them, especially the cops here. They work like 12 hours a day, in the lockdown to make sure that people are at home.
Right, right. That's awesome. Yeah, that's very valuable, and it makes it so much more real.
Yeah, yeah,
So many people, not so many, but some people don't even believe that it's real, like it's true, like COVID is something. So that's
No, bro,
crazy.
I had it. I had it. I was COVID positive on 24th of May, and
Oh,
then 5 days I was fucked, and then I recovered somehow, and then I went back to work. So I know how it feels. I mean, yeah, you say it's a hoax, but I know, and I saw people dying in front of my eyes. So now I really cannot, like, if anybody says that it's a hoax, I'm like, dude, like, you should come and see the death. One-to-one face with a death is the ultimate thing which can make you believe in something which is there or not. Like, so
right.
yeah, I mean, in the media and the news, like, I can go on the internet, type things like, oh, it's a hoax, it's a fucking scam, this that. But like when you come to the field and you see like a female who was just talking to you, after
Right.
2 hours her oxygen saturation is gone down. Suddenly she was fit and she's dead now. Like that's what
Jeez.
happens like in the field, which you don't know, like which we and all the doctors, all everybody in my field, like they've been working in and out like without any rest, and they are seeing so much of this. For us, I think we're gonna have a PTSD after this for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's get your direct line to Donald Trump. You tell him this.
Seriously. Seriously.
Dude, I don't know, but I know this is sound weird, but I like Donald Trump because he's funny, and I take him as a cartoon.
It's like a comedy show.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He's like the biggest, funniest guy in the world, I feel. He's like a cartoon for me. So whenever I see him, I feel so happy. I was like, this is a comedy for free, man.
That's right.
Oh man.
Man, today we're having a conversation with so many global DJs, but I always felt like it would be incomplete without having somebody come in here from the UK. So I have a surprise guest for you guys, and
Nice.
he is DJ Limelight.
Yo, what's
Oh
up?
shoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, good, yeah.
I had to pull you in, bro, because like, what kind of global Desi DJ conversation are we having without you from the UK, who's been repping this whole scene and all of this for a fuck ton of years? How have you been, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's
Sorry,
perfect.
man, I'm not that good with technology sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Raf's been helping me loads, but yeah, it's all good, man. It's good to be joining, such a dope lineup, and obviously, like we're all very passionate about our skin tone and what we're doing for it. You know what I'm saying? For the rap culture, but being brown. You know what I'm saying? So
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man. It's good.
Hell yeah, man. Glad to have you here. DJ Limelight's here for a short time in today's episode. But within this time, I wanted to, ask him how things have been. And like, I don't want to know about the quarantine stuff anymore. I've already asked that question to everybody. But like, what do you think about, the scene right now? What's your feeling? Like, you've got the ears to the streets. So I want to hear a little bit from you.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I like it. I feel like there's a lot of dope rappers. There's a whole cultural thing behind it, and I feel like there's a lot of passion behind it. And there's a lot of young bucks that represent the struggle, which is always important. My only concern when it comes to like brown rappers, Desi rappers that are trying to go to the next level in terms of like, let's look at someone like Nav as a brown face that sits amongst, you can probably sit in the same room as P. Diddy, can sit in the same room as Jay-Z and be acknowledged as an artist. Is that sometimes I feel a lot of Desi rappers right now are chasing the wrong collaborations, man. And I feel like production choices ain't the greatest either, man. That's me being 100. I don't want to be negative. Everyone looks mad serious now. I'm sorry. But it's a genuine concern I have, because I always feel like as brown people, we're almost taught to kind of be quiet and not speak up about the struggles that we go through and actually represent ourselves to the fullest and say, yo, like, why isn't Little Baby on a track with Emiway right now? Why isn't Ghana? Like, they're the popping kids, not Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg, Clickety Slide, and that ain't really hitting me. It's not really something I'm going to go and play in the clubs in London. That's me being 100, you know what I'm saying? So
Right. Well, you bring up some great points. What do you guys think, man? DJ Sharad, what do you think about what he just said?
You know, me and Limelight, we be mixes back and forth and music back and forth all the time. And you know, I don't believe there's a right or wrong in this space, and I think everyone, as an artist, you got to get in where you fit in specifically. But I hear where Limelight's coming from in the sense that, you know, sometimes these collabs are forced. If we're talking specifically on collabs, and I've been part of them, I've been behind the scenes on a lot of records and a lot of collaborations specifically. We're also at a point where we as a culture don't necessarily need to collab or force a collab with a mainstream hip hop or pop artist. We're collabing internally on our own, and we're creating our own vision, creating our own sound, creating our own lane. So what I really like to see is cats from where we're from, New York, Canada, that are South Asian, collabing with cats from India and Pakistan, because I believe that creates this global madness and eventually allows mainstream to come to us versus us chasing people with a bag and saying, hey, we got this 50,000 for a Snoop feature. We don't need to do that. You know, people could come to us. The Latin scene did it. I always reference the Latin scene because the Latin scene is a global scene independent of any other scenes. The Latin scene coexists with one another globally, and people like all of us on this call, we actually all really know each other, and DJs are a very, very powerful force. Sometimes the artists don't really recognize the DJs, and us banding together and sticking together, me being able to just WhatsApp to Limelight or WhatsApp to Spindoctor or WhatsApp to Rap, etc., and saying, yo, I got this artist or this music, check it, and we're pushing the shit together, eventually leads us to be able to walk into major labels and say, we got this record, we got this many 500 million plays on YouTube, y'all need to give us the baby or whoever. And if you don't, it's cool. We're gonna flourish regardless. One thing I'm really I honed in on is the fact that a lot of artists in our culture that make music pause when they make the music and really haven't figured out that we're in the music business. Making music is the art, but making music doesn't necessarily mean you're in the music business. And it's two very, very different things. Collectively, as a scene, specifically South Asians making hip hop, the business is not fully filtered out yet. The business is still being created. Right. And we need to perpetuate that and build that. So me as a DJ, I'm not here to just play music. You know, most of the work we do is behind the scenes, in cultivating artists, in A&Ring behind the scenes, putting deals together for artists, walking them into a radio station. Like being able to be Brown and walk artists into Hot 97 is huge. That's Mecca of hip hop. Walking them into a label here in the States is huge. And we need to use those plugs and that sort of strength as a unit collectively to help our artists, and vice versa. Those artists really need to stand with the DJs, and we need to educate the artists that the DJs are not just motherfuckers playing music. We have power, and we have power together. So the more collabs we do, I think the artists see it and they benefit off that. And eventually the good artists will pick up the phone calls. Like you as a DJ, if I go around the room and say, yo, how many times have you tried to get this artist to just do something like a drop or give you a verse or even pick up your fucking phone, sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes the artists are on this massive path and they don't really reciprocate. So I said a lot. I could keep going, but you know, us as DJs, bottom line is we have a lot of power. We do work behind the scenes. From a collaborative effort, I think we need to collaborate within and let people come to us. That's my summary, if you will.
Facts. I like that, man. That makes a lot of sense. Both of you guys, really made sense with those points. Like it's true. It's both true. Like what DJ Limelight mentioned and what Sharad mentioned is true. And we gotta come together and do this shit right. Since we don't have Limelight for too long, do any of you guys have a question for DJ Limelight?
Yo, where's
I totally stuck with what he says. Like when he was saying about the MMA thing with the Snoop Dogg collab or whatever. So I grew up with these guys, dude. Like I know them like in and out. When they were nothing, I played with them, and I was playing that with them till now. But the thing is, what Sharad is saying is very right. That these guys are just musicians and they don't know the business behind it. They do not know how it works, and like they are taking so many wrong steps. And at the same time, the DJs are not getting enough respect. Like in India right now, I'm telling you, India. If you ask anybody what is hip hop, what will they say? They'll be saying hip hop means rap or rapper. So other elements of hip hop, like especially DJing, is not that huge. And even like for us, like as a DJs, it's very hard to establish our identity in the scene because all the fame is gone to the artist, like who's rapper, not even
Right.
a beat producer, not even the DJ who's performing their music or performing with them live. I mean, I started the whole DJ culture where like me with Gully Gang, I used to make sure that I get like a spotlight, and I used to tell people like this is more important, not just the performance. A rapper is rapping, but the performance when you see a whole band is performing on the stage and DJ is scratching and cutting all those things, that actually is the backbone of DJing, right?
Right.
Or hip hop, I would say. So the business side, yeah, like even DJs needs to learn like lot of like here in India, I'm teaching a lot of kids, more about business than DJing because
Mm.
they know everybody is a good DJ. Like I've seen so many DJs. Everybody, like if you come to Bombay, I'll make you meet like 10 battle DJs who can cut and scratch like one of the top UK DJ or one of the top American DJs. They are like that good scratchers, right? But when it comes to business, they don't know anything, and that's why they can't put out their art in the market. So it's very much important to educate them about the music business. Like I met Sharad and I learned a lot of things with him. I came back to India with all those positivity. I started collaborating with brands. That's how you need to unite, learn with each other, and then I had people, so I connected him with all of my rapper friends, and he just gave me an idea about like how to deal with brands and stuff like that. I started approaching good brands, and now I'm like endorsing like good brands. I just get money to post a picture, dude. So it's come to that level, and now the whole the digital marketing and stuff like that. We need to be like up in our game, not just DJing in the club and taking like a few $100 a night. Just like that, you have to have a back team where you are producing music, and a DJ should be on the track. It's not just like if you say like yeah this rapper and this track. No, there has to be a DJ with that because even DJs are sitting home producing a lot of beats, a lot of music, so they are not getting like not even the screen sharing. If you say in the video, you don't see any hip hop track with a DJ, man. Like in India, there are hardly any DJs who are sharing the screen in a big fucking video. Like they'll be having like hot girls with big ass. That is more important. They'll be having like money or whatever. Yeah, but no DJ. Why the fuck you not put a DJ in the video, man? That's the whole point. Like, so I'm trying
Right.
to educate people here, and I'm like, putting that message in the community that dude, like, we are also hip hop. Like, we are the
Yeah.
people who are playing your music and making it famous. Like, people are like, dancing to your music in the club because we are paying your track. Come on. So
Yeah.
everybody has
Yeah.
to have like equal share.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree.
Just it's from a business perspective, like you guys, I look up to all of you from a content creation perspective, and I'm a entrepreneur, business first, DJ second. And so when I look at what's happening, you look at the content from the 80s, the DJ was always part of it because you couldn't do what the DJ could do. You can't just go
Right.
buy stuff and do stuff. And then as the creation became easier and easier, more people can get into the game without a vision. Is just a cluster of folks. And when I work with people in the game, my question always comes back to look, at the end of the day, if you remove the title of artist and musician and you use other rules like I'm an entrepreneur and my product is music, then you have different set of rules you follow, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to create a vision. You don't say, hey, I'm going to start a business, and once I make my first 100,000, then I'm going to learn how to run it. But for some reason, the music is like, I'm just
That's
going to get
interesting.
into content. I'm going to write songs. I'm going to DJ. I'm going to do collaboration. I'm going to pay all this stuff. And then when I make it, I'm going to get a manager. And then
Right.
I'm going to figure shit out, which completely skews the foundation, right?
Right.
We have a very weak foundation as an industry And I've been in this game for like 20 something years now. And I'll still tell people we don't have an industry. We have a lot of passionate content creators, but we don't have the beginnings of an industry yet. Or when it does start, it doesn't last long enough to turn into something. There's these blips of organized attempt, cross culture, cross country collaboration. We see these bubbles, and then it doesn't sustain long enough to become foundational. Then we're back to zero again.
Right. Facts, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying, because I feel like coming from the UK rap scene, not even just Desi, I'm talking about just generally, has become so mainstream out here. I mean, there's rappers out here and the US artists, when they come here, really want to work with a lot of the UK artists, and that's organic, because what's happened is you kind of what Sharad said before was like, we have to take ownership of our own scene. So people have to collaborate with each other and build a scene within ourselves. And I feel like the reason why I mentioned the whole collaboration thing in the start was because I feel like that's a step in the wrong direction sometimes when the song don't sound right, or when it's not organic. It's not like one of these artists have come to Mumbai and has bucked up with a rapper at a club or at a bar, or just randomly connected through the internet and come out and just spent a week with him or a few days and connected on that level. Whereas in the UK scene, that I can say like firsthand that that's what's happening. When US artists come to the UK, they connecting, even with myself as a DJ, they connect with me on a personal level where they want to talk to me, they want to exchange phone numbers and create that relationship. And I think that's the only way the scene's going to grow, is if you take ownership. And to take ownership of something, you have to believe in it. You can't look at it like a quick way to make money. Otherwise, it's not, because I'm going to keep it 100. When I started DJing, I didn't know how to DJ. So I called myself DJ Limelight because everyone told me, yo, you need to be a DJ. And I didn't know how to mix. I didn't know how to do anything. I just knew tracks, I knew songs. And then I realized, well, if I really want to do this, I have to actually really do this, you know what I'm saying? And sacrifice and really believe in the scene that I'm really supporting. Right. So it's all good that the 6 of us support the scene, but if the artists that we're supporting are just chasing a quick check and they're not really representing their area or their struggle, or that's where it really comes from. When you represent something, when you stand for something, you have a purpose. You're gonna bring a whole scene with you, because you're gonna have another 10 kids around you that want to be like you. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, that's a good ass knowledge bomb, bro. Like you just mentioned, like just put it on your back. You know, you gotta be it. Yeah. You can't just like talk about it. You gotta be that.
Look at Drake. He's just done a tune with Heady One now. I've known Heady and I've known RB. They're like young boys from Tottenham, North London. And Tottenham has a lot of history. That's where Skepta's from. But they're not connected to Skepta. This is their own little thing. But they're like youngers. If I was to show you the collective called OFB, there's literally hundreds, literally, no exaggeration, there's hundreds of these kids rapping now. And they're all going to the same jewelers and getting the same chains made, because they all represent that. Do you know what I'm saying? That's their culture that they represent. That's their scene that they represent. Right. The fact that Drake has come and done something with one of them, and actually done something on a production that is defining that movement and that sound, shows the respect that artist is showing that culture. And I think we don't have that yet. I'll be honest with you, because if we did, we'd have production, like the producers that are making the tunes for the big Desi rappers right now would be getting contacted by mainstream labels and artists saying, yo, we need that hot production from that producer who made that tune out in Mumbai or wherever it is. We haven't got that yet, and I think it's still early stages. I don't know. Maybe from my perspective, it's still early stages. I don't know from everyone else's journeys, because everyone started at different points, I guess. But for me, the rap thing is still kind of new for me as well. So,
nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool, man. That's awesome. Great to hear all of that. So Limelight, you can stay as long as you want, but if you gotta go, you can go. But we're going to continue with the show. We were actually playing a segment called Scavenger Hunt, where we ask all of the guests to share something in their room. I think the next person who wanted to share something was Satish, Sats B. Got
I'll
something
show
for
you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
let's go.
man. So I had stuff at home, and then I came to the office. I was like, oh man, what I was gonna show you initially wasn't there, but I have this on my desk. These are Father's Day things that my kids made for me.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys can see it.
wow.
What's fascinating is like I built a life where I don't have to wear a shirt and tie, and I could be an entrepreneur. I could hoodie up every single day. And then
Right.
this is what they think of me when they think Daddy goes to work.
That's a good one.
And the other crazy thing is I actually don't own any ties. So I don't even know where the inspiration for these two things came by. And then when I open it up, I can also tell like personalities. My daughter's card was like, Happy Father's Day, Dad, and that's it. But my son, who's always politically correct, it was like, Happy Father's Day, Dad and Mom. And I was like, yo, he wants to be politically correct.
That's funny.
But
That's
funny. For me, it's a simple reminder, man, because it's like, same reason why I got my kids tattooed here, because I spent, years where I'm just working away and I forget about the family because I'm just obsessed with what I do. And I have to build these triggers around me. Like, somebody wants to go out for dinner after work. And I'm like, oh shit, the act of picking up a drink, I'm like, oh, I can't because, I got to go. The kids are waiting, or little things like this remind you that, there's a bigger purpose, a bigger vision for everything we do while staying in the moment and being obsessed about the quality of the work you do is really important.
Right.
That's not the purpose. It's the bigger thing. And so I try to find ways to just constantly remind myself of the bigger picture.
That's awesome. I love that.
If your kids bought you a tie, would you rock it?
No. Hell no.
Damn. That's funny. Awesome, bro. Thank you for sharing. DJ Sharad, I think you got something for us, right?
Oh, he did the album.
Oh,
Juicy,
shit.
Juicy.
He already did it. My bad.
You forgot about
My
this.
bad. My bad. We
Juicy.
forgot the main one.
I'm gonna keep it moving, man. It's been a pleasure, though. Man. We need to do this again, man.
Hell yeah.
Like Limelight.
Are you about to bounce, bro?
Yeah, man. I got a pick one.
Bro, before you leave, man, cheers for the FA Cup. For those who don't know, Limelight and I both share the passion of following Arsenal Football Club. And this last weekend was one of the best for us. So thank you for showing up, bro. It's
been a very depressing ride, so yeah, we needed that.
Hell yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Raph look extra happy today, so see you look extra happy today.
Dude, extra happy, bro.
Wicked guys, man. Good to catch up with everyone. I'm gonna hit everyone up on the Instagram, man.
Word, respect, bro.
For sure,
Respect.
bro. Thank you for coming.
Gang.
See you next time, bro. Peace. All right, awesome. Okay, so I forgot who didn't get to share something. Oh, Juicy, let's go.
Juicy.
Let's see what you got.
I got two dole sticks. This is called a dugga, and this is called dilly.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a terrible percussionist dole player, but it's a hobby of mine, and I keep this at my desk sometimes when we're working, and it's a very high stress environment. Everything's moving at 100 miles an hour. Sometimes I'll just pull this out of my drawer and I'll just play it on my desk, and it kind of grounds me, gets me focused back to what I need to do. I put it back in my drawer and I keep my day moving. So this is what I have to share with you guys. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So I guess it leaves me. I've got this book that I've been rereading. It's Humble the Poet's first version.
It's a good book.
It's a dope ass book. I always try to go back to it. This thing I opened up today when I woke up, and it was like, if people don't like you for who you are, change the people, not you.
That's
I like
dope.
that shit. That shit.
I did it.
Yeah, I think at one point in our lives we all have to do that.
Changed so many people, man.
Hell yeah. Well, awesome, bro. So the next segment, the next game that we're gonna play is called Social Undistancing. So here we go. Social undistancing. So this is a segment where we, right now the world is all socially distancing themselves. So in this segment, we're going to try to get to know each other a little better and undistance ourselves. So in this segment, what we're going to do is that each of us are going to ask one question to one person. And then, so for example, like we will all ask Juicy one question, and he gets to pick whatever he wants. He can answer all of them, or he could just answer one of them. Whatever he picks, that's his thing. So, let's just start with Juicy. Actually, I'll go ahead and ask Juicy my question, and then Sats B will ask him one, and so on and so forth. So, Juicy, when did you begin DJing? That's my question to you.
I started. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say that we will all ask you a question, and then you get to choose whatever.
Okay, go ahead.
Once you want to answer. Okay, Sats B, do you have a question for Juicy?
Yeah, man. How long did it take to perfect the butter chicken recipe?
That is a two-part question, just because like butter chicken is a podcast, and also we're all interested to know how to make a bomb-ass butter chicken meal, right? Yeah, Spindoc, what's your question?
How did you guys came up with the whole butter chicken podcast? I want to know the story, man.
Nice, good question, Sharad. What you got for Juicy?
It's crazy because I had butter chicken in my question too, and Sats B and Spindoc had butter chicken. My question is, if there was 2 foods left on Earth,
Oh God.
one was cheeseburger and one was butter chicken, and you had to eat that every day for the rest of your life, every single day, would it be butter chicken or would it be cheeseburger? And that's the only thing you could eat forever until every day.
I'm gonna take Rap's question.
Hey, I think you still have to answer the butter chicken questions, man.
Okay.
Everybody's interested. But okay, yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, Rap, to answer your question, I started when I was 10 years old. I'm in my mid-30s now, so I've been DJing for almost 25 years.
Wow.
And it's just been a passion of mine since a very young age. I grew up in Queens, New York. It's a very diverse borough in New York City. You're exposed to a lot of different sounds and cultures here. So, listening to everything growing up and trying to identify with my own culture as well was quite a challenge for me, especially when you're at home and you have Desi parents and they're just trying to instill, our home culture into us. So, with that, along with listening to radios, along with surrounding myself with a lot of people that were also interested in shared common interests, it really led me to this path. And I started at 10 and I never looked back, man.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Real quick before you answer the next ones, who inspired you to DJ at age 10? Like, was it your dad or something, or what do you think?
Honestly, it was a culmination of a few things. It was the radio, Hot 97. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it. It is the biggest hip hop institution, I think, in New York City. In terms of radio, and I was listening to a lot of DJs such as Funkmaster Flex. I would listen to BLS, which is also another radio station with Kid Capri. And along with those hip hop DJs, there were a lot of older guys that I would look up to, like Sharad, who was one of my mentors, Jitin from Toronto, Jay Dobby. There was a few other people in our community that I would listen to and buy their CDs and remix CDs and stuff like that. And I paid attention very, very closely and just kind of absorbing bits and pieces from everybody to try to develop my own style.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's really interesting.
Yep. In regards to Sharad's question, butter chicken all day. Although I would miss a cheeseburger every now and again, that's, the butter chicken hits different, So that's that.
Every day for the rest of your life.
If I had no choice, yeah, bro. The question is, do I get rice or naan with that, or is it just the butter chicken? So part 2 of the question, rice or naan, right? Sats, to answer your question, it's an ongoing thing to perfect the recipe, both with the podcast and both with the food. My mom is a very good cook. I'm Punjabi, so food is so big for us, as it is for all Indian cultures. But the rich Desi cuisine is something that I get to indulge in all the time. And my mom is constantly finding things to tweak her recipe, and that's kind of where I get my inspiration.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. Spindoc. Oh, well, also in the second part of that is the Butter Chicken podcast. I'll let Sharad dive into more into that, but the short answer is we're still trying to find ourselves as journalists and people who are trying to tell messages to people in our community. and it's just an ongoing thing. We're constantly learning daily, and you know, I don't know when that would be perfected or if it ever will be perfected, but it's definitely something that we're striving for. Spindoc, to answer your question, Butter Chicken Podcast is a passion project that Sharad and I put together a couple years ago, where we felt like the stories of impactful individuals who are making, you know, a lot of noise and good, doing good in our community wasn't being told or being documented. So we decided, let's get together, let's call some of our friends, let's test it with us first and see how it turns out. Let's see what that chemistry is. We've been friends for 20 plus years. I mentioned Sharad, one of my mentors, so you know our chemistry is organic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it would be organic behind a microphone in a studio. So we decided to go in the studio one day, chop it up. It felt great. We then started to call some of our friends and artists in the community, and it just took off from there. We paused as we were recording pre-COVID because, you know, we didn't know what the outlook was going to be with this whole pandemic, and then also just trying to pivot our business as well because we were impacted from a business standpoint. So we needed to kind of shift our energy into that. But it's something that we will continue. It's just a matter of time, really. So hope I didn't take up too much time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for answering. Cool. So the next person, let's ask Sats B some questions. And before we do that, I just wanted to say that this segment of the show is presented by Applause. So my question to you, Sats B, is about Applause. What made you do it? When did you start it? Tell us the whole Applause story. That's my question to you. Spindoc, what's your question for Sats B?
Would you let your girl and boy DJ if they want to?
Nice.
Awesome.
DJ Sharad, you got a question for Sats B?
Yeah, me knowing Sats on a personal level, I know you're not new to this. So my question is what continues to fuel your passion now in the digital space?
Nice. That's a great question. Juicy.
And what was the inspiration behind creating Desi Fest?
Awesome. I was hoping somebody would ask that because that's awesome. Okay, Sats B, the mic is yours.
Oh, wow. Okay, great questions, guys. Thank you. The easiest one is Spindoc. Yes, my daughter, who is turning 13 this month, is already DJing. We have a show every night called Sofa Session. So she's DJing. And half the songs she likes, Facebook cuts us. It's all mainstream. It's the TikTok sound. So we're constantly restarting our stream. But she's learning. What I've learned watching her is the discipline to put your playlist together and beat match and tell the story is not there. They just want to play songs. And then the young folks that follow her don't appreciate the art form. They just want to hear their songs. So it's very different trying to teach her how to DJ versus watching her be a playlist DJ, which I think is hopefully not the future and et cetera. But she's doing it. My son, hell no, he's very conservative. He wants to be behind the scene. He doesn't like the camera. So I'm hoping one of them I can manage and retire soon. And Paris Hilton's making $250 a night or something like that, crazy. So I'm like, yo, go for it. Learn how to DJ. I'll invest. We got enough people in the community to give you an opening slot. So let's figure it out. But a great question. Yeah, the passion, man, Sharad. You know, I think I spent the first 25 years starting businesses because I wanted to life hack myself. You know, by the age of 15, I was pretty much told all the things that I suck at and what I'm going to be in life. And I was like, that can't be true, because then how am I going to live the rest of my life with this version of myself? And so I started starting companies to get over fear of public speaking, learning how to life hack my love affair with money, losing some, making some, you know, building real relationship. And so after I sold my last company in 2017, I don't have the same self-improvement urgency. I kind of like who I am at 43 a couple years ago. So now I'm very passionate about how can I share my blueprint, especially in music where there's not enough blueprint that people can follow. And it's one of the easiest businesses to get in. It's one of the hardest to survive. But I think we can shift the language a little bit and start getting creative folks to think like business folks. And then there's a rule book, there's a process, there's a set of guidelines you can tap into immediately that I think is missing. So I think that's kind of what I'm passionate about, which led to Applause and a couple other things, which I'll segue into. The Desi Fest story really was out of anger, man. Like, I was born in India, but I left when I was 3. I grew up in Singapore. Most people don't know that.
Oh.
And in Singapore, you're just a brown kid. You're Asian. You don't even consider yourself brown. You're just an Asian kid. And it's only when I came to Canada, especially in Scarborough, where now I'm like, what kind of brown am I? And I didn't know how to answer it. I didn't fit into the Tamil community. I didn't fit into the South Indian community. I wasn't into the Punjabi scene. And so I was really confused on where do you fit in. And the number one common human emotion is like a feeling of connectivity, right? We didn't have it. And then as I was getting into the scene, I realized, man, I know so much amazing brown folks that are making music, but we're constantly divided between Bollywood version, do we fit in or not? Or we're too urban, we're too black, we're too wannabes, and we don't get any other. So, you know, Desi Fest started as an angry outlet to go, hey, how do we collect a group of us that are creative, we're respecting the culture, but we don't believe in it, and we need a space. And, you know, Young Dundas, which is like our secret sauce, we got it by accident. I literally was trying to do a club night, book like 15 friends, do a club night, do an all urban thing. And none of the clubs will give us a venue because they were afraid that when you combine different cultures that we would fight and stab each other and like cause a bunch of shit. So I was like, man, I can't get a club to do a gig in the city. What do I do? And the city property, they can't say no to you. It's a city property. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna take this and see what happens. And you know, first year we had 20,000 folks, and then now we're 150,000 folks. But really, it was out of anger to go, we don't have a place. If I don't fit into my parents' world, and I don't fit into the Canadian, North American world, where do we fit in? And one of the things I preach all the time is for our culture to be fully integrated, we have to be transparent with all the good and the bad. Yes, our curry's got a crazy smell. We've got beautiful songs. We are artists, we are engineers, we're doctors, and we have folks that are not that good, but that's who we are. And so we wanted the most public platform, kind of like that 8 Mile version. I'm going to expose so much of us that you can't poke fun of me, then what's left is love. So let's get to that part.
Beautiful.
And then 13 years later, we're still doing it, except this year was a whole different fun pivot. And Applause kind of started 2 years ago where I was like, look, and you guys know, as much as I love our community, we can have a whole debate on what is their value, right? Like when an artist jumps from $3,000 US to 10 grand the next year, what happened with that 7 grand growth? You didn't win a Grammy. What happened? And we can't afford an inflating cost. So we said, hey, we got to find a way to monetize the fans that show up. And so that's what Applause started as, a simple way for anybody in the live music content creation world to get fan love and convert it to money. Super simple. You scan the QR code, Apple Pay, Google Pay, $5 in somebody's pocket, and you're done. No download, no registration, no extra work for the fan. And as a business guy, I started to think about, well, what is the data that's missing? If I'm a musician, how do I plan what cities to go to tour on? Who's my best customer? How are my fans giving me money? When am I selling my tickets? There's so much intelligence that's missing outside of stream data. And that's what Applause wanted to become. We wanted to build an engine where if you are running a business, which is music, that we can really give you all the data to strategically win. But step one is you got to kind of use it. And then when COVID sort of killed the live music scene, thank God everybody went live. And then we became one of the only ways to have a thin way to make money. I don't care if on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, doesn't matter. Applause layers on everything, and you start to make money right away, including this show that just made some money.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. Thank you, Satish. Thank you, Sats B, for sharing. I love that. Let's move on to Spindoc. Spindoc, bro, my question to you is, you've done so many crazy shows in India. Which one was the craziest one? Okay, like a lot of energy, high energy, crazy fans, all of that. I wanna hear that story. Sats B, what's your question for Spin Doc?
I think, when I think back on my DJ days, there's so many times where like I just didn't want to do it anymore. I felt like, I don't have the audience. It's another club night where five people showed up. And the people always say like 5 or 100, give them the best show. It's not that hard when you're trying to spin to a room that's five people in it. So when you hit those moments of like, I don't know if this is going to work out, and you continue to stay in it, what was the self-talk?
Nice, great question, DJ Sharad.
I'm asking you a question that's important to me because a lot of DJs have platforms and sometimes they have to pivot. A few years ago, you were spinning on stage with arguably the biggest rapper in India, which is Divine. And, from a business perspective, you were presented an opportunity to go with that gang into their next momentum of their career. You at that point had an option to either go with them or go independent. You took a route to go independent. That took a lot of courage. Why did you make that decision versus, again, going with who is now the biggest, platform in Indian hip hop, period?
Nice, great question. Juice.
My question is, and I'm sure some of the listeners are curious for this as well. You being, I guess, a dual professional, a DJ and a doctor, how did you find balance in achieving both? It's a lot of people have passion, but they're kind of, told or guided to just pursue what's going to be lucrative for them and beneficial where they can monetize. But it seems as if you were able to achieve both. So what's the key to that success, and how did you achieve that balance?
Man, I gotta say, really awesome questions. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So Sats and Juicy, your questions are like, kind of similar for me, so I'm gonna answer. So like, yeah, I do get low, and those are the places where I feel like, oh, should I go back to my medicine or should I continue being as a DJ? Because DJing is not doing good. Like, 3 months I'm not getting enough work to, sustain this and that. That happened initially, but now, now I figured out a way to, how to get through this thing. Being a dual professional, yeah, it is difficult, but last 2.5 years, I was 100% giving myself to my music, and I kind of completely stopped doing medicine. I came back to medicine as a volunteer because my country, like India, has like massive population and limited amount of doctors who can go in the community and helping out. So it's more or like a voluntary work than making money work because I'm hardly making any money. It's like a peanut. So yeah, from medicine, I don't want to make money. I just want to give my service to the community because since my childhood, like my parents, they always taught me, to help, to help, to help, to give, and I have that thing feeded in my head. So I always think of giving more than taking. So that's why medicine is more like a voluntary thing, whereas majority of my money I make is from music. And
Gotcha.
yeah, I do get crazy low, and I feel like there are always points where I have to go like from this point to this point, and I'm like, should I go from this or should I not, or take a safer way? I do feel like that, but then I realize that after like 10 years, then I'll be sitting alone and thinking that why the fuck did I not take a courage to do this? I would have been in a better place, and right now I'm in a really good place, and I'm happy like wherever I am. I need to go above this, but like I see my journey and I feel like, oh, I'm a guy who lived in a slum, who's coming from I literally had nothing, dude. Like I used to get like I had nothing. I had to borrow, like I had to steal money to buy blank CDs. Like that was my kind of struggle. Like I started on CDs and then I bought my own turntables and I started scratching. So the whole journey is like crazy, and every time I get small victory, I take that thing as my inspiration that okay, I already won this, so I can win this, I can win that. And about Gully Gang, yeah. So Gully Gang was like it was like a family to me, and I really loved playing with Divine, and it was a really good thing. But then at one moment I realized that okay, um, it's good as a DJ if I establish my identity solo and inspire more people. Because right now, when I was DJing with Gully Gang, everybody had a dream not to become Spin Doctor or DJ. They wanted to become DJ with Gully Gang. and I don't want them to dream that. I don't want anybody to dream that, okay, if you're gonna be successful only if you play with a big band. No, it's not. Like, you're gonna be successful even if you are just a DJ and doing your own shit. I don't want people to follow a certain, like, a blind path that, okay, this is the benchmark of success. No, there is no benchmark of success. Sky's the limit. You do what you wanna do, and I think doing a solo career, I'm making like 4 times of money. So I'm happy. Money wise, I'm doing good. And brand wise also, like right now, you are dealing with like one to one, so you have a lot of freedom. Like when you are in a band, you have to listen to the management. Here right now, I have my own management, so I can tell my manager that, dude, I don't want to do this. Like, fuck off, and he'll understand because I'm the artist here. So you are the boss here. You are not the employee. Whereas in the band, you are the employee, which I was happy
Exactly.
initially, but then later on, I desire to get more and more, and I feel like I was not fitting in that setup. And as an individual, and I have my own business strategy going on in my head, which doesn't coincide with them. So sometimes that those differences, you want to overcome that thing. So it's better to have a separate channel for yourself, and do whatever feel like you feel like now. Right now, initially it was like Spindoctor playing in Gully Gang. Right now, Spindoctor playing with this is rapper. Like I had and yeah, again, your question, rap. The best gig I had, this gig at Sula Festival, which happened. It's one of the most cult music festival. Only good musicians,
Right.
like people who are like at a really good stage, they are invited. They bring like the best of the best bands from the world. So me as a DJ, like I always wanted to play on that stage because no DJs get that stage.
Right.
It's only for live musicians. So me as a spin doctor and friends. So you get it, like it's spin doctor and friends. So I got rappers on my set, like all the rappers, like Tracy was in my set, Poetic Justice was in my set, Big Three was in my set. So here, I am trying to establish DJing as one of the large sector in hip hop, not just rappers, because here everybody, like if you ask any layman what is hip hop, they'll be like rappers. So
Right.
again, like I was telling you from the beginning, I want to change that perception of people that hip hop is not just rapping or rappers. It includes everything: DJing, it includes b-boying, it includes
Right.
graffiti. So all the 5 elements of hip hop, and I want to make sure that I represent DJing to its maximum, and then I make sure that I give all the Indian hip hop DJ or any brown hip hop DJ a vision that it's just DJing can give you a solid identity. You don't need not any need not to be part of something to have that identity. Like yeah, it's good. That's an accessory, but again, like you have to have your own brand. Like how Sharad has his own thing, so everybody knows DJ Sharad. Everybody knows Juicy or Sadbi or Rafu for that matter. So as a DJs, we have a responsibility to teach our next generation of DJ that you should not follow just mass. You should make your own identity or build your own brand, and that's how it works. Like DJ Khaled is a brand. Like everybody knows
Right.
DJ Khaled. Yeah,
That's
so
sick.
kind of similar way. Yeah.
That's sick. I like that knowledge bomb right there. Like build your own brand, and then everybody will come. That's amazing. Um, Moving on, like thank you for sharing, Spin Doc. I loved it. Moving on to DJ Sharad, bro. My question to you is, you listen to so many different artists and musicians. If you were to create a collaboration between a producer and an artist, who would those two be? That's my question to you.
What a question, bro. Wow.
It's just, like you listen to so many people, all day. So I wondered. Juicy, what's your question for your big bro, DJ Sharad?
What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to leave behind?
Legacy. Nice one. Sats B.
Oh my god!
What's your
Oh
question?
my gosh, bro!
I gotta let these marinate.
Listen, the questions are getting deeper and deeper.
Ooh.
Man, I was just wondering, like, as a fellow gearhead, if you can invent something that's gonna make the DJ scene more creative and more fun.
Wow.
As a product guy, what would you invent? What toy, what DJ gear, what add-on would you invent if no money was an issue?
Wow. Nice question,
Yo.
bro. Spin Doc.
Siraj, what's your dream gig, bro? What's your dream gig?
Dream gig. Beautiful. Man, these are all
He already
amazing
did it.
questions. This is
He
amazing.
already did it at Desi Fest. His dream gig. He already did it. Take it off the list. Take it off the list.
All right, Sharad, the mic is yours. Let's hear it.
Wow, I think legacy, from a legacy standpoint, it was really unclear to me of what that was, and what success was, and I put legacy and success in similar categories. And if you look at yourself as successful, it will sort of automatically go towards what you want your legacy to be. And for me, I realized that legacy is not about the mass. Success is not about the general public. But your legacy is when you leave, if your family and the people that cared for you immensely around you were affected and impacted positively, then you would have essentially left an amazing legacy. So for me, it was really hard to figure out, but as long as my family and my kids are happy and can talk good on my name when I'm gone, then I've done my job here on this planet. Plain and simple.
Nice.
So that to me is legacy. That the love of your children and your family. I think it's crucial. In terms of inventing a product, so yeah, I use the gear sats, but be clear, I'm technologically disadvantaged. Even for this particular meeting, like to get on this shit, like a minute before I'm scrambling and I'm like, Juicy, send me the link. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it would be, and I almost have it, but I have it with the human element. Like if I go do a gig, I can't even plug in my own laptop without having some sort of fear. Real talk. Like when we went to Desi Fest, if Juicy wasn't there, I might not have been able to DJ. You know what I'm saying? It's just, so if I was going to invent something, it would literally be a robot that could go with me every gig, that could drive my truck or drive my car or drive me wherever. That robot then gets out an hour ahead of me, sets up all the equipment, has the ability to sound check with a mic, send me signal in the car, and play the first couple of records before I get there. Right when it's about to peak, my laptop's already set, and I just go in and
and
you just show up.
Bro, honestly, I have a lot of equipment. I don't know how to operate it the best, and I have an amazing human team around me. Like if I take you around the office right now, there's like 7-8 people here that are all R&D, tech, whatever. Me, I'm like, nah, just get it, make sure it works. I'm gonna plug the laptop in and go, and that's it.
That's dope. That's
robot
dope.
that can go with a DJ, and it's expensive. My robot's not gonna be cheap because you buy it and start DJing. You gotta be able to earn it and own it. So my robot.
Do you want your robot to serve you drinks also when you are playing?
The robot does everything for you. Like my robot will be, you can't buy it for less than 100 G's. So if you don't have 100 G's, you can't buy it. But if you have 100 G's, you
can rent it.
Rav,
the robot
bookmark this episode.
The robot is one to one, and it only goes with programmed for a specific DJ to learn that DJ inside out. It becomes that DJ.
DJ Sharad is living in 2050. I'm telling you.
We are 5 years away.
I would, if I had to buy that right now, I'd pay $500,000 for that. I'd pay for it.
Right.
I would pay for that. And when it becomes available to the mass, $100,000 product. Yo, Sats,
listen, we're 5 years away, bro. We're 5 years away from that.
Invent it, because I guarantee bad DJs will buy. You know how much you save on payroll? And everything perfect, and someone always there for you. You can't beat
that. That's got the prototype in the office right now, bro.
Crazy Spindoctor. Yo, one time I came to India, and I DJ'd in Hyderabad, in a palace. Wow. And when I DJ'd there, a staff that I would have to help me for laptop, sound tech, all that, would normally here be like 3 people. In India, when I came to Hyderabad to DJ in this palace, no joke, there was like 50 people just there for me. One guy to plug in one RCA, one guy It was amazing, bro. And I asked the dude, yo, how much you get paid? And the equivalent in rupees at that time was almost like $1 per gig. Not even. It was crazy back then. So that was like, so
Crazy.
I don't know. I have this constant thing that I need to do everything by my own because I don't trust anybody with my setup. Like, so I don't even let anybody touch my needles, dude. Like, I was like, dude, do not touch anything. I'll plug in my mixer. I'll do everything. Nobody touches my setup. Nobody. And if I do the sound check, and even if anything is like, if even if the wire is moved from here to there, I get mad. I was like, dude, who the fuck touched my control? You cannot. You cannot. I'll tell you if you. It's my strict instruction that you cannot even move the laptop stand if I leave from here. That's it. Like, I'm a very patient that way. Nobody touches my thing. I have to do everything on my own.
In terms of dream gig, I don't know, man. I'm past that mindset of a dream gig. I don't know what it is, but I played Super Bowl pre-party. I played 20, 30, 40,000 people. I
thought you wanted to play with Spindoctor. Okay, it's okay. Cool.
Oh, fast. But the reality is if I could change the question a little bit, because I've really accomplished everything I felt I've wanted to in DJing and where I've played. Mm-hmm. What I feel like is the feeling is more important than the actual place you're playing. The feeling I get, and Sats know this because he comes from the same music era as I do. The feeling I get when I used to play old dance hall in a basement, like being in somebody's basement, dark as fuck, beers, old English, blunts being smoked, and me playing old school 90s reggae and 90s hip hop in a basement gave me the greatest feeling than ever being in stadiums and being in these places. So for me, I used to DJ in a lounge called Lava Lounge. It was like 200 people packed, just people packed together, close, sweating, dancing. To me is the best thing of DJing, not the big crowds and the lavishness and wearing a tux to DJ, none of that. It's more, being in the cut, low key, packed dance floors was always my thing.
Nice.
Collaboration I'd love to see, and it's not even a dream collab, it's just something I do see happening. But I'd love to see, like, I'm a big fan of Raja Kumari. I've been working with her here in the States, and I support her career a lot. She's an artist I really, really feel has a lot of potential in America. I'd love to see Raja Kumari and Dr. Dre do a record together.
Ooh, nice. That'd be fun.
It's a West Coast thing, but Dre is global,
right?
Of sound. So I'd love to see that, marinate one day and make that happen. So
that'd be sick. That's awesome. We've spent a lot of time today, but we're at the last segment. So just want to say, Sharad, that hourglass thing of yours, don't trust it. Okay.
We're over.
This is the last segment. Playlist placement. All right, playlist placement. This is, I think, going to be a fun segment with you guys because you guys are all DJs listening, ears to the streets. In this segment, I ask you guys, the guests, to suggest what you're listening to right now. At Desi Hip Hop, we curate a lot of playlists all the time, global Desi Hip Hop playlists on Spotify, Apple Music, and we do a lot of different genres of playlists as well. So here's, our chance to share. What are you guys listening to right now? It can be anything, any genre. It doesn't have to be Desi either. So let's start with DJ Sharad.
Me personally, I listen to everything. I'm hip hop to the core. I've been listening to hip hop forever. But really, I've been focused on South Asian talent right now. A lot of brown talent coming out of both the East and the West. I like this kid, the real Mizuchi. He's brand new. He's out of Bombay, but I believe he lives in Boston. And he just sent me his EP, and I'm blown away by the talent and by the sound. So the real Mizuchi is his name. He's fire. He's got a brand new EP, very well produced, very young, super independent artist. And that's what I look for, is like the new up and coming kids. I feel like they inspire me a lot.
Nice.
Check them out. It's dope.
Awesome. We're gonna definitely check them out.
Rolling Stone India just wrote up about him too, and I believe whether he pops off or not is not what it is. Is the music good? And does he have a sound that's Does he have a sound that is unique and independent? And yes, check him out.
Nice. Love it. Thank you. Juicy, what are you listening to?
So, just taking a tangent from the Desi scene, as of the past couple of years, me personally, when I'm driving in the car and also when I'm DJing, I'm very big on the Afro beats. Burna Boy, Kiss Daniel, Malik Berry, Yemi Alade are all artists that are constant rotation for me. So definitely the sounds coming out of Africa, specifically Lagos, Nigeria, have been really kind of you could see that, and it's clear in my playlist and sets now.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I like that. Past few years, you're right. Like, this Afrobeat sound has getting a revival, and it's quickly becoming this mainstream sound. Recently I've been feeling like that UK grime, that UK drill stuff. I feel like that's gonna do something in the future. What do you guys think? Do you guys think UK drill is gonna be the next thing? Yeah, Sharad agrees.
It is the thing. It's already the thing. It's huge.
It's already the thing. All right, perfect. That sounds good. Okay, Sats B, what are you listening to lately?
So I'm ODing on Tamil music again, man. I realized 14 years of Desi Fest with very little Tamil content. I spend most of my time listening to language that I don't understand, but it helps from a programming perspective. But since Desi Fest didn't happen and we've been going online, I've been exposed to Tamil music again, and I realized how much I miss it. So I've been like overindulging in Tamil music, the stuff from the movies, the stuff from the local artists, constantly, and I'm starting to pick up the language again. I can read again. It's been crazy just getting back into it. And also through Applause, there's a ton of Canadian talent that doesn't have a plan yet, in hip hop, both male and female. And so I've been really working on their sound, and I can't wait to release some of that stuff to the new world. But really, right now, it's like I'm falling back in love with my own language that I've ignored for so long. Yeah.
Man, can you name one or two artists that you're listening to, like Tamil music that you mentioned?
The go-to right now is Sri Sridhar, man. That guy's like just killing it. Everything about him, I love, and I've been exposed to him, but I never really focused on his independent work. And so, it's I'll be geeking out on him, and then I'm working on this new project, taking Tamil classical music and making into some soul funk EDM stuff. And so really like I'm back into having fun, but I get the words now and not just the emotion.
Wow, nice. That's awesome. That's sick. All right, Spindoctor, what are you listening to?
Yo, I'm in a totally different zone. So
yeah,
basically when the lockdown started, I started listening to Sufi music. So I started listening to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Saab, and that, like his vocals and all, like it gave me a lot of inspiration. Then I started listening to Anushka Shankar, who's a sitarist. She plays sitar, and like too much of classical, like Zakir Hussain, that kind of stuff, because I feel like those are the places where I want to take inspiration from right now. And in terms of hip hop, like there are really good talents in Bombay, and I'm like in one-to-one touch with all those guys. So I've been like making music with them. Regarding the Tamil thing he said, like there is this duo I discovered, like Cartel Madras from Canada. Those girls are like fire. Like they are from Calgary.
Right.
So Cartel Madras, they are like their album like is literally bomb. So I've been listening to even there is this guy from Hyderabad. His name is Pranav Chaganti. He raps in Tamil, but his Tamil is so clear, and the flow he has, like he has the fastest rap I think in Tamil. I think you should check it out. Pranav Chaganti, mad rapper. So like in India, all this local talent, like I know that them one-to-one, and I go check them out, speak to them, and I listen to their stuff. So every city I have like a favorite rapper. Like in Kolkata, if you say I have this guy called J-Trick, he's killing it. In Delhi,
I got
J-Trick is shit, man. Like I got him on my set on twice or thrice in Calcutta, and he killed it. So him is there, Poetic Justice, and then Gravity. You should if you want to check out a rapper from Bombay, Gravity is the guy. Gravity is like he's bomb. He has that fire. I have a track coming up with him called Ashwathama with Gravity and Poetic Justice.
Nice.
So those are the guy, man. Like I have so many people, and I cannot list them in the same. But every city I have one favorite rapper. Like right from Delhi to Kolkata to Haryana to like Bhopal, like small cities, South side Kerala, in Karnataka. Everybody's like Madurai Soldiers. You guys check it out. Like if you want to go for South Indian South, Madurai Soldiers are like the late like crazy late band.
Yeah,
Sick.
I
And
came across those guys. Those are sick.
yeah, like in Northeast, there are 2-3 rappers who are like killing it over there. So like India has like crazy talent.
Yeah, that's right. That's awesome. Yeah, Gravity I really like as well. Bombay Local and their whole crew is very nice. It's really cool. Really awesome. Well, awesome, guys. We're at the end of our show, but at the end, I always like to give each of you guys an opportunity to leave the audience with a message or whatever you really want to say. So let's DJ Sharad, what do you want to say to the audience before we leave?
Firstly, Raf, thank you, man, for everything you do for Desi Hip Hop. I don't really think people understand your role in the scene and really how impactful you are in this whole game. Everyone on this particular call, and even Limelight, who's not here no more, I've had personal dealings with, personal relationship with. All of y'all have opened up your particular platform. Raf, right away when I called you, it was, yo, whatever you want. Sats B has arguably one of the biggest shows in Canada. He said, yo, I'm gonna put you guys on, no questions asked. When Spindoctor came to New York, we linked up, and when he came, he showed me Shah Rule, the artist Shah Rule, when he was here. And
Altaf.
Altaf too, yeah. You put me onto Altaf?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shah Rule. You put me onto a big Shah Rule record at the time. And you just opened it up and you just said, yo, check out these dudes from Mumbai, they're killing it. My point is, and Juicy, obviously, we're next door to each other right now. But point is like we all have different platforms and different reaches. And I think 10, 15 years ago, people were holding on to their platforms tight and not opening them up and not sharing them. And now it's like, when you guys come to New York, you link us. Whenever we come into your city or in your digital space, it's open game. Same thing with Limelight and BBC and all that. Every time I have music from America, I send it to them. So I think thank you, Raf, for being like this sort of common denominator and this glue that is able to bring people together, bring a whole scene together, be sort of driving force, if you will, within our community. With that, one point I want to make, which is not talked about enough, it's very important. Yeah. We're making this collaborative effort. We live this life of hip hop. We're on the Desi Hip Hop platform. We, as a community of brown people, making hip hop and being in our space and calling it our own, don't give enough credit to black people as a community. I'm not saying as individually, but as a community, our culture really needs to do a better job of standing next to the black community, period. We are the guys that have adopted their culture. We call it their own. We've monetized off it. We do it in our own language and in our own way. But really everything from the hats we wear, the chains we wear, the way we look, the way we speak, the way we engage on a day-to-day basis, the music we make, the DJing we do, everything we do comes from a community that had to suffer for 400 years for it to come to this place for us to easily just take it and call it our own. So as a community, our messaging now has to shift a little bit. While we on this call have always embraced black culture, I think we have to be more vocal about really standing next to black people and saying, look, we're adopting this as our own, but we really know where it comes from and we stand with you, we credit you, we're here to support you, we're here to support your community, whether that means buying black, whether that means collaborating with black, whether that means being in the same places as black and brown together. I think the DJs and us in this digital space have a lot more groundwork to do. We're doing a good job, but we have to do it and push it to our whole community. We have powerful voices individually. Together, we're way stronger. So that to me is vital right now.
Nice.
Well said. Well said.
That is awesome. Yeah, that is perfect. Well said, man. That Sats B, summed it up with the well said. That's right, man. I agree with you completely, wholeheartedly. We did an episode just about that subject, and it is really important for us to continue talking about that. Thank you so much, DJ Sharad. I appreciate you as well. Like all of the things that you do, it's amazing, and you're always a call away. I really appreciate that. Always did. Spindoctor, bro, what do you have a message for the fans?
Dude, I am the youngest here, like in front of all of you people. I really cannot give you guys a message, but I'm thankful to you guys that the scene is so good for us also, and thanks for letting us be part of, like, from India, like DJs were like just local, and we never thought of going global because we never dreamt that big. So thanks to you guys, we are coming in the global platform. Like now I have people who know me in Canada, and I have people who know me in US, people in UK. So thanks that like whole Indian thing, you guys are supporting us so much, and you guys are the one who are putting us on that map. Because yeah, like in our scene we are doing good, but nobody listens to us abroad if you were not there. So you guys are there who are like putting our sound in the international market. So I just want to thank you guys. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, that's it. I would like to add that, we're all doing our best. You're doing your best and we're doing our best, and all of that together comes together, and then we all win, man. That's exactly what's happening. 10 years from now, they're not going to forget any of our names on this call or any other calls that we have in this industry right now. So thank you for that. DJ Juicy, I want to hear a little message from you.
I think just to echo everybody's points, it's important to just kind of stay tight and together and closely knit. Sharad said it, strength is in the numbers, and I feel a big deficit in our community particularly is the lack of unity. So what we're doing right here, we're all together, we're collaborating, we're from the same descent, background, areas of the world. We need to stick together and support each other, and we will rise together. That's the bottom line. And the second thing is paying it forward. You could have, so success is extremely subjective, right? It's what you have made up in your own mind. But if you feel that you're successful as an individual, what are you going to do to pay it forward? Are you going to mentor somebody? Are you going to donate your time or some money? Because people can really benefit from your experiences, and it's important to share that in whichever way, shape, and form. So paying it forward is tremendous to me.
Nice. That's awesome. I love that piece of advice. That is so true. Last but not least, Satish, a little message for the audience, man. And imagine like a younger version of you watching this. So like,
listen, I'm 29 forever. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm 29 forever, baby. No, it's a great opportunity to connect and chat. Thank you for inviting. Even though you're kind enough to call me a DJ, I'm more of an MC with a hobby for DJing more than anything. So I'm in awe when I see these guys do their shows and what they do with the mixes. I think for me, it's really at the end of the day, have a vision for what you do and why you do things. Whether you're a producer, a DJ, songwriter, festival person, whatever it is that you want to do. And there's plenty of cheddar in the universe. There's lots of opportunities, man, to do what you love. Have a vision for why you do the things you want to do. And in that vision, make sure you really understand what's going to make you happy. We feel like we need to leave happiness for later in life when we attain certain things and goals, where I challenge everybody to start baking in happiness as part of the strategy up front. That's really all that is important. If you do things out of like the right reason and you're happy doing it, then the measurement of success, like Juicy said, it's really up to you, and that's all you can own. And get rid of the ego. There's so many of us on the call today who fought for the culture, who got the scars from building these foundational opportunities. Reach out and ask for help, ask for mentorship, ask for advice. Don't feel like that is going to create a moment of weakness or an ego, because what's the point of having these battle scars in developing the culture and going to war if we can't give it back, right? And so reach out, ask for help. There's only so much self-learning and YouTube and Udemy you could do. There's something magical about saying, hey, I need help, guide me. And those of us that are doing it for the right reason, our doors are always open. Our phones will always get picked up. But reach out and ask.
Beautiful. I love that, man. And I think Sharad mentioned, or Juicy mentioned, that like 10 years ago this wasn't the case. Like a lot of people were just running on ego. But I love where we are right now, and we should take advantage of every single moment. So thank you guys for being here. You added a lot of value to my life as well today, man. I'm super happy talking to all of you guys. You're so positive. I love the energy. Spin Doc, man. Love everything you said. Sats B, love the advice, man. As an entrepreneur, I really look up to you. You know, we have so much to learn from you. So I love all the things you mentioned. Juicy and Sharad, man, you guys keep doing your thing, bro. Like, I really enjoy all your mixes. By the way, you know, when we were making that little clip yesterday with Juicy, like, scratching the fuck out of that thing, you guys know what I'm talking about, but the audience may not know. But, like, man, those scratches, fuck. Okay, that was really good. That's for another convo, maybe. But, like, that shit was nice. Cool, guys. Thank you so much for being here today, man. I will definitely hit you guys up soon. Really appreciate you. Thank you for everything.
Thanks
for being part of the show.
Salud.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Salud.
Good to see everybody.
Hell yeah. Next week, Karan Kanchan. We'll talk about that later. Peace. Thank you.